Hi, third graders. So we are going to go over our next math assignment. It is Unit 5, Lesson 6, and it's page 345 through 348. So if you can, please get that out and let's follow along. Here we go. All right, put this in my stand here. Okay, like I said, Unit 5, Lesson 6, page 345 through 348. We are talking about comparison statements, all right? So comparison just means to compare. When we're comparing how many apples somebody has to how many apples another person has, we compare it, okay? So let's get started here on page 345. Up on top are directions for comparison statements. Use the sentences and pictures below to complete the comparison statements. Martina has 6 tennis balls. Chris has 2 tennis balls. So here they show them compared. Martina has 6. There's 6 tennis balls here. Chris has 2. So now we have 4 questions about these. So let's read them and start out. Make sure I have my page on the camera here. Okay, Martina has blank more tennis balls than Chris. So we know that Martina has more, but we want to know how many more. Martina has blank more. A good way to see this is to circle the extra. Or, because of, if we didn't have the picture, just using our word problem, we could say, well, I know that they're asking how many more, so that means to subtract 6 minus 2. That would give us the same answer. So how many more tennis balls does Martina have than Chris? 4. All right, so Martina has 4 more tennis balls than Chris. Number 2, Chris has blank fewer tennis balls than Martina. Okay, so this first one we had the keyword more. Now we have how many fewer. Okay, same thing. We just want to know the difference, okay? He has 4 fewer tennis balls. Notice how these word problems are asking the same thing. They just switched up the words a little bit. They're asking how many more Martina has or how many fewer Chris has. It'll be the same. Okay, now let's look at number 3. Martina has blank times as many tennis balls as Chris. So this is a little bit trickier. We have not talked about how many times as many. Okay, so we think that Martina has blank times as many tennis balls as Chris. So she has more. We want to know how many times more. If it's 2 times more, 3 times more. Sometimes we hear that saying is, she has 2 times more or 10 times more. That just means whatever Chris has, you have to multiply it times whatever you're saying times more. So if we have 2, what do we have to multiply times 2 to get to 6? What do you think? Because here's a group of 2. And we must need another group of 2 and another group of 2. So 2 times 3 equals 6. That means that Martina has 3 times as many tennis balls as Chris. Okay? So now let's think about this here. Chris has blank as many tennis balls as Martina. Well, Chris has less. So how in the world could we say how many he has compared to Martina? Well, let's think about this. We have not talked about this before, so I'm just going to walk you through it. This will be fractions, okay? So this is kind of just 3, but turned around since it's less. Instead of 3, we'll say 1/3. Because if we break this into thirds, he only has one of them, 1/3. Okay, we won't really talk about that right now because we haven't talked about fractions yet. but he has 1/3 because there's only one of these thirds that's filled in. All right. Let's hop down to here. Use the comparison sentences and pictures below to complete the comparison statements. Bobby has 3 hockey pucks. Wayne has 15 hockey pucks. So again, they showed in pictures, they're showing you in pictures, that Bobby has 3, Wayne has 15. They want you on number 5 to write a comparison statement about the hockey pucks using the word more. So kind of like this one. Martina has 4 more tennis balls than Chris. So let's think about it. We're going to write a comparison statement using more. Well, first of all, who has more? Bobby or Wayne? Wayne has more. So we are going to talk about how many more Wayne has. So Wayne has, how many more does he have? Let's count them. Or we could say 15 minus 3, which is 12. So Wayne has 12 more, got to make sure to have that more in there, hockey pucks than Bobby. Than Bobby, not then Bobby. Than is comparing. Okay? So Wayne has 12 more hockey pucks than Bobby. And on the next one, they want you to write a comparison statement about the hockey pucks using the word fewer. So remember, we said these are asking the same things. It's just switching around the names because we're talking about more or fewer. So who has fewer? Bobby. Bobby has how many fewer? It's the same thing. It's 12 fewer hockey pucks than Wayne. All right, there we go. Okay, back to this fraction business. Wayne has how many times as many hockey pucks as Bobby? Well, they have them in groups of 3, so let's circle them in groups of 3. That might help. Okay, there's a group, there's a group, there's a group of 3, and there. So let's think of it. 3 times how many equals 15? What do you guys think? 3 times what equals 15? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So Wayne has 5 times as many hockey pucks as Bobby. And remember when we're talking about the person who has the less, Bobby has blank as many hockey pucks as Wayne. Let's turn that into a fraction. It's called a reciprocal when you switch them around like that. 1/5 as many hockey pucks as Wayne. All right, let's flip to the back once you have that down. Okay. Now we get to make some drawings. So use the sentences to write and complete the comparison statements. Make a math drawing to show the situation, then do the exercise. So Abby has 8 comic books. Pascal has 2 comic books. Remember on this page before how they showed all these? They just drew a picture. Comic books, let's just do squares. So Abby, she has 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Whew, they're not very the same size, but they'll work. And Pascal has 2. Make sure your squares or rectangles kind of line up. All right. Write a comparison statement about the comic books using the word more. Okay, how many more does Abby have? She has more, so her name's gonna go first. Abby has, well, 8 minus 2, 6. Abby has 6 more comic books than, gotta compare, Pascal. Okay, And again, you're just going to switch it around for fewer. Abby has blank as many comic books as Pascal. Let's look at this, number 11. Well, 2 times what equals 8? If you said 4, you're right. So Abby has 4. Pascal has blank as many comic books as Abby. Turn it around, that reciprocal 1/4. All right. So you can pause and do the same on 13, 14, 15, and 16. And when you're done, press play again and let's keep going. All right. And I just want to point out on up here, they didn't write in the times like they did on the first page. So make sure you add that in there 4 times. Same with number 15. Okay, now that you're done with this one, let's talk some word problems and solving them. Okay, back to word problems. On this page, I only want you to do odds. So circle 17, 19, 21. Okay, let's start on 17. Teresa has 2 gerbils. Owen has 4 times as many gerbils as Teresa has. How many gerbils does Owen have? Well, let's think about how we drew it out on these pages. This says Pascal has 2 comic books. Abby has 4 times as many. So let's think about it on this. Teresa has 2 gerbils. We're just going to do circles for gerbils. Owen has 4 times as many. That'd be like saying 2 times 4. How many gerbils does Owen have? Oops, make sure you can see this here. 2 times 4 is 8. Or that would be like saying 4 groups of 2. Okay, and that gives us 8. 2, 4, 6, 8. So Owen has 8 gerbils. Okay? All right, let's jump down to number 19 since we're only doing odds. Bart rides his bike 8 blocks to school. Melinda rides 5 times as fast as Bart. How many blocks does Melinda have to ride? Okay, let's start with Bart. Bart has 8 blocks. Melinda rides 5 times as far. So that means that we are going to multiply times 5 to give us our answer. What's 8 times 5? If you said 40, you are correct. How many blocks does Melinda have to ride? 40 blocks. Whew, how would you like to ride your bike 40 blocks to school? I think I would be pretty tuckered out after riding 40 blocks. All right, now I want you to try number 21 on your own. Lucille has 7 books. Javier has 3 times as many books as Lucille. How many books does Javier have? So what is your first step gonna be? Well, let's start at the beginning. Lucille has 7 books. So we have 7. Javier has 3 times as many. That means we're multiplying. 7 times 3 gives you 21. 21 books. All right, so there's solving some comparison word problems. Quick, let's talk about page 348. This is a going further page. It's just meant for a challenge, okay? So they talk about the multiples. A multiple is the product of a number and any other number. For example, 6, 12, 18, and 24 are multiples of 6. That means that 6 times anything will give you this answer, but it has to be something times 6. Okay, so they show you some Venn diagrams here. What you want to do on these is start with the outsides because the middle has to match both. So if you have 16, 14, 8, 22, 24, 10, 2, what can you multiply any number by and get these? Well, I notice they're all evens. I notice that they go 2, 4, 8, 10, 14, 16. Like if I was counting by twos. So these must be multiples of 2. Can I divide these by 2? All of them, and it gives me a number? Absolutely. So that's a multiple of 2. How about over here? We have 3, 9, 15, 21. What can I multiply by and get any of these numbers? I should say all of those numbers. Well, what times what gives you 3? 1 times 3. That's the only multiple that you can put into 3. So it must be 3. Can you multiply times 3 to get 9? Absolutely, 3. How about 21? Or 15, I should say. 5 times 3 gives you 15. How about 21? 7 times 3 gives you 21. So that must be that. Now, we have to make sure that the ones in the middle are multiples of 2 and 3. That's the only way that we know that these are right. Can you multiply something times 2 and 3 to get 6? Absolutely. 2 times 3 is 6. How about 12? What times 2 gives you 12? 6. What times 3 gives you 12? 4. How about 18? 9 times 2 and 3 times 6. How about 24? What times 2 gives you 24? Or I could say 24 divided by 2. Same thing. 12. How about 3? 8 times 3 gives you 24. Okay, so that's how I know my work is right on that. Now, down here you have many different circles here and Venn diagrams. So that would be kind of a toughie. But I'm going to challenge you. If you think you got it, send me a picture of this bottom part and we'll see if you got it. Okay? So just take your time on these word problems, all right? And your homework and remembering. If there are any numbers that have to do, or any questions I should say, that ask you about a fraction, skip it. I'll look through the assignment on the homework and remembering for the next day and let you know which numbers to skip. All right? All right, let me know if you have any questions.